Hi, everybody. So we are going to talk about Conquest again. Conquest is coming back on Monday at the usual time, which is the 7th, March 7th at the usual time. It will be back, it'll be live, and it is the exact same iteration as the last month, and it'll be the exact same iteration next month. So 13, 14, and 15 are all going to be the same feats and discs. Slight difference in discs, but we'll get into it. So just to go over today, I want to talk about the discs specifically. I'm not going to really focus on feats too much or suggested teams. I'm going to link all of my past Conquest content so that is specific to this iteration of Conquest. So if you need a refresher on a specific sector, you can look that up really easily. But I want to be able to just talk about the discs because that is the biggest factor in what is going to help you get to the red crate, what's going to help you get through the combats easily, get through the bosses easily. Talking about Lord Vader in particular in Sector 4. So I just want to focus on that because we have a few new discs that we're going to see. So I'm just going to show you the forum post from CG. So right away at the start, you can see like these are the discs we're getting in Conquest 14. They say it right at the start. And these are all of the new ones at the top. So these were the discs that we were supposed to have last Conquest, and we didn't. The only one in this list that we did have was the critical over one there at the bottom, which you got through doing a global feat. So looking at this off the top of my head, I don't know how effective they're going to be. I think they will be good. The problem with these discs is that you're going to have to unequip them as soon as you get to Lord Vader. Lord Vader's leadership ability, as soon as you knock someone below an Empire or a Dark Side allowing Force user below 80% health, you're not going to be able to critically hit them anymore. So these discs are not going to be that effective against him specifically. To be honest with you, with the Lord Vader boss, I genuinely think that we're going to need to have 2 disc builds in order to make your way through Conquest as easy as possible. It will be annoying to swap discs, but I think it's going to be necessary. You can probably try to build the optimal disc set that won't require you to swap it. I think it'll just be a little bit harder to get through some of those nodes, particularly as you get like deeper and deeper into the sectors. So super curious to see how these critical discs work. I'm definitely going to look for them. I don't think they're going to be super amazing. What I am really excited about is that they aren't taking away a lot of these pre-existing discs, and tons of these discs are key to getting through Conquest. The biggest, my absolute most favorite one is probably Amplify Agony, but you're going to need to remove it. So if you do Amplify Agony, I like to do it with Booming Voice is a really great one, but I like to do it with, let me just find it before I forget, and they might have removed it. I like to do it with Leader's Resolve, and I like to do it with Volatile Accelerator. So Volatile Accelerator is when an ally deals damage to an enemy, that enemy gains turn meter, and then they get a damage over time effect for X amount of turns, depending on which version of Volatile Accelerator that you have. And then obviously Amplify Agony is that they deal max health damage to the enemies. The reason why you're going to have to unequip it if you do go with Amplify Agony is because once you get to Lord Vader, again, it doesn't really work against him because of his leadership. He will make his team immune to health percent effects, which obviously Amplify Agony creates. They will be immune to dots. They'll be immune to thermals, so you're not going to want these discs on there. They are, however, really good for walking through the sectors and just getting through as quickly as possible and 3-starring them. It's a ton of fun, but you will need to take them off. So Amplify Agony, like I said, definitely recommend. Booming Voice, I always grab it when I see it as a just in case. It is probably my favorite 4-dot disc out there. This is the one that when your leader uses an ability, all of their allies are called to assist. But it's hands down, absolutely one of my favorites. I generally skip caustic emissions. Defensive formation, I really like. This is the one where allies are going to recover protection whenever an ally attacks out of turn. This is really great for the Lord Vader boss, especially if you're using teams that allies are attacking out of turn. So Imperial Troopers, the Padme team, anything where people are assisting, because it's not that ally that gains it, it's all allies, and you want that survivability against the Lord Vader boss. So definitely love it. Entrenched, really happy they kept entrenched. Again, you're going to gain protection up. Depending on which tier you pick, the protection up percentage is different. And these are stackable. So if you have 2 entrenched and one is the rare one that's 50%, and one is the epic that's 75%, they'll stack on top of each other. So you'll have 125% protection up. I generally skip evasive technique. I usually skip hyper accelerator. I almost always will skip insatiable unless it's the only really good disc to grab. Leader's resolve, I will grab every single time I see it. It is stackable as well, and it's really good for Lord Vader, so keep that in mind. Master's Technique, I did grab this disc last time. I don't believe it's not a necessary disc. It's great, you're going to gain 8% mastery. You have to remember, it's only when your ally attacks out of turn, and it's only relic characters. So if you are using characters that are gear 12 and below, they don't gain any mastery. So you might not be utilizing this disc to its maximum potential. I know, like, for example, I was using characters that weren't relic. Some of them are able to walk through sectors without needing relics. Dark Trooper, for example, is not relic yet on my team, but I was able to use him with my Imperial Troopers, so he would not be gaining mastery. Again, I picked it up. I put it on for maybe 1 or 2 battles. Didn't love it. Took it off. Offensive buffs. So you're going to gain allied units at the start of their turn, gain offense up, crit damage up, and crit chance up for 1 turn. So every time their turn starts, they'll gain that. I used this disc against Lord Vader, and again, I know he's going to make his team immune to critical hits, but the offense up is really what did it for me on that disc, and that's what sold me. So that one I definitely grabbed. Opportunistic support, I also grabbed. This one is where you're gaining health instead of protection. It's the same idea as defensive formation. All of your allies are going to gain health back. That one is also good for the Lord Vader boss. Perseverance. So this one I did not have last time. You can red crate without it. It is an amazing disc. So whenever an ally attacks out of turn, they attack again, and then the damage that they deal is reduced by 30%. So it is a great turn or a great disc, especially if you're using out of turn attack teams, and you need this disc if you are planning to do the Imperial Trooper team against Lord Vader in Sector 4. So if that is something that you want to do, you need to grab Perseverance. You also need to make sure that you keep an eye on the Jawa nodes, the scavenger ones that sell the consumables, because you will need the Frenzy Tech as well. So you are going to need to pair those together. Again, you don't need this disc to complete Conquest. I didn't have it last time. It does mean that you can't use the Imperial Trooper team against Lord Vader. So I've seen. Power, you're gaining offense and critical damage, so it is good. It's not a necessary disc in my opinion. Premonition, I skip this disc every single time I see it. I don't think it's good. It's not a good enough disc in my opinion to be worthy of 4 dots. It's going to take up way too much room on your 12 dot allotment for your discs. Stacking Fervor is good, again, because you're going to be gaining offense, and stacking offense is good, especially if you have teams that gain buffs. So this disc, stacking offense, and it is a stacking disc, I also equipped against the Lord Vader boss with my Padme team. So it's definitely on the list of something to look out for, in my opinion. Thermal exhaust I have been ignoring, mainly because, one, once you get to Lord Vader, you're going to have to take it off. It's not going to work against him, but thermals are stealing your kills. So if you're working on any of those feats where you need to kill X amount of characters with clone troopers or whoever, Old Republic characters, if they die from a thermal exhaust, you're not getting credit for that kill. So I just skip it now, to be completely honest with you. Unstable Decelerator, honestly, skip it. I don't think it's necessary. Vitality, I will grab if there is nothing else worthy of it, of being grabbed, but I won't be on the look for it. Volatile Accelerator, this one I grab every single time. It makes walking through Conquest very easy. So I, again, like I said earlier, I like to pair this disc with Amplify Agony. And the team that I love with this disc setup, if you have it, is Beskar Mando as your leader with Han Solo and Chewbacca, and then any 2 characters. They walk through nodes. It is absolutely amazing. The enemy team will pretty much never take a turn. You do need to have Beskar Mando's leadership Zeta in order for it to work effectively. But again, it makes it so easy to just walk through nodes. And it's really great if you need to win with certain characters on your team. So if you're doing those global feats, that is going to make it way easier. Voluntary Vanguard, I don't specifically look for it, but I will grab it just in case I need it. This is the disc that is going to mark the strongest ally on your team at the start of battle. So if you need someone to survive a fight for a feat, this is a disc that would help you for that. But if you are going against teams that have AoE attacks, it's not going to help that person survive, because as soon as they do an AoE, if they're too weak to survive the onslaught of the AoE, then it's useless. But again, I will grab it if I need it. I didn't use it at all last Conquest. War of Attrition, skip. Honestly, I've never used it. I put it on once. It would have been 3 or 4 Conquests ago at the start of Conquest 10. I don't like it. I don't like it. Zealous Ambition, grab every single time. This disc is amazing, especially for like the minimal dots that it's taking up. So healers and supports essentially are going to gain offense equal to what their max health is. This is amazing on a Padme Galactic Republic team because you have so many supports with her. If you're using Grandmaster Yoda, it's amazing. If you have any healers on your team, it's amazing, because those are generally the characters that tend to hit a little weaker. Obviously, they're not attackers. And this disc just boosts them up so well. And then you have massively overpowered and deployable cooling systems. So these are the ones that are also available through your global feats. So massively overpowered, you get through the feat that I believe you need. I think it's... There's one with Old Ben and Luke. I can't remember which the other one is. I think it's Mando and Boba. Maybe. Or no, sorry. This is the one where you need to kill 100. I'm completely sorry. I have completely mixed up my feats. This is the one where you need to kill 100 enemies with either Darth Vader or Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. And hot tip on doing this feat, they don't need to both be on your team, so you can cycle through your Empire and your Jedi teams really easily. But that is the disc that you get there. Deployable cooling systems, you need to win 250 battles before you even get it. Chances of you getting it before you finish Conquest are slim to none. Just because by the time you do 250 battles, you're going to be done all of your sectors. So on that note, if I were to do disc builds, in particular set builds, I would stick Volatile Accelerator with Amplify Agony, like I said. Amplify Agonies will stack, so you can stick as many on there as you want. Once you get to Lord Vader, you're going to want to take that disc set off and put something else on. I personally love Leader's Resolve there with Entrenched. For almost the entire Conquest 13 run, I used Leader's Resolve with Entrenched and then stacking offense and offense, the offensive buffs disc, this one over here, where you gain offense up and crit chance up and crit damage up. But Leader's Resolve pretty much lived on my disc set and Entrenched. I do believe that survivability, honestly, is going to be the theme of the next 2 conquests, more so than inflicting debuffs like you would with caustic emissions or thermals, anything like that. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. I don't think I would veer from that too much. I'm super curious to see how these critical discs are going to work now that they're actually going to be there. But again, if you have them equipped, you're going to want to remove them before the Lord Vader boss, because they're probably going to hurt you as soon as you get anyone below 80% health. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to link all of my other Conquest videos below in the description, so that if you need to focus on a specific sector, it's easy for you to find, or if you need to refresh anything in specific, it's easy for you to find. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful, and I know no one is really excited for Conquest because it is such a grind, but I hope this helps and makes it a little bit easier to manage, and we work our way towards getting that ship unlocked. All right, guys, I will talk to you next time. Enjoy Conquest, and let me know if you found this helpful.